How does a narcissist keep all the lies straight in his head? Like, it can be really confusing just trying to keep up with the lies that he's been telling you, the lies that he's been telling other people. How does it even make sense that it's going to work inside his head? A lot of times people have this question. They wonder, like, how does it actually work that a narcissist can lie to me so many different ways and then lie to someone else so many different ways? And then we get together, the lies connect somewhat, but then the lies oftentimes are like completely different. And you're just like, did you not think we were going to connect here? Like, a narcissist has so many different lies. When we talk about narcissistic personality disorder, a lot of times what comes along with it typically is cheating, typically is a lack of empathy, and a lot of times interwoven with all of this is lying. Narcissist lies all the time. One of the first people that the narcissist lies to is typically themselves, like who they actually are, what they're believing, what they're thinking about themselves, and those lies start to go out to everybody all the time, getting to a place where you wonder, like, why is he even lying about where he went or the salad dressing that he used or like what he actually ate for dinner the other night? Like, why is that a thing? And a narcissist gets to a place where it becomes habitual, where no matter what, it just happens, lie after lie after lie. Now, you're going to have a lot of narcissists that are really, really awful liars, and you catch them and you're like, this doesn't even make sense. Like, this didn't happen. Like, this person didn't do this. Like, the chicken didn't make you do this. Like, there's so many different ones that are like really, really bad at lying. But then there's a lot that are really good at lying, and they've manipulated people and they've put lies upon lies upon lies, and like confusing you, confusing your situation. And then when you start listening and hearing from other people, you start seeing incongruencies between the stories that they're telling other people as well. So, all going back to really quick of like, how do narcissists actually keep all the lies straight in their head? If you guys are new, my name is Ben Taylor. I'm a self-aware narcissist on this channel to provide awareness of narcissistic abuse. I speak from a lot of my experiences of who I am and what I've done to try to help break people free mentally and emotionally from the trauma bond, from the obsessiveness of having this person constantly in your mind, constantly in your thought process, and you're not sure how to actually be free from the toxicity. We try to help people the most by going to claritychallenge.net. It's a 45-day challenge that starts moving you away from this person mentally and emotionally, even physically, but is trying to help you understand how do you rewire internally so this doesn't keep happening to you, this doesn't keep going through a cycle, and you're able to actually be free. So when we talk about narcissists and the lies that they have, one of the first things the narcissist is going to do is compartmentalization. So I didn't know what this was growing up. I just knew that I boxed up certain things. Certain realities, certain versions of myself only existed in certain boxes. So like if this person was here, I was communicating inside of this frame of reference, in this box of reality. I was pulling stuff out. I was saying, oh yeah, this is the lie I told you. Oh yeah, this is what you know. So let me communicate this. And then someone else would come into my life and I'd be like, oh yeah, you actually exist in this box. You exist in this frame of reality. So as a result, I'll go ahead and communicate this aspect to you. But if I move over to here, this is a different aspect that I'm communicating to the other person. So it's this way of being able to separate the truth and separate the lies and separate everything according to the person that you're actually interacting with. So narcissists use this compartmentalization. They use this as a defense mechanism to actually maintain the same level of deceit with other people. So like a narcissist might have one person that they don't lie to that much because they don't need to. There's not actually a level of depth that it even matters there in the relationship. It's just a friendship or it's just a work colleague, whatever it might be. And then they might have someone else that they lie way more to because there's more on the line. Like this could actually ruin the relationship. This could ruin the marriage. This person could expose, like all these different things going back and forth. And so like I would actually view this as being like, I need to box things up and make sure that certain people, certain experiences, certain emotions sometimes would only be in certain boxes so that I didn't have to deal with them. So I didn't have to experience them. So I could actually control how I felt, control the things that were coming into my life. And so a narcissist does this to keep aspects of their lives extremely separate. I would do this with people. I would do this with emotions. I would do this with experiences. I would do this in multiple things to try to make sure that I kept things separate so that I didn't have to feel different things that would cross over. Narcissist does this, keeping their life separate, but it makes it easier to be able to maintain and to be able to conceal the lies that a narcissist has. Think of it this way. A lot of times I've used an illustration that a narcissist doesn't have a problem with lying to you in this reality. Doesn't have a problem to lying to the next person, the next reality. The problem actually is jumping in between. In between is where the stories get confused, where the lies get forgotten, and where the narcissist is like, wait a second, did I tell this person that or this person that? And they just say something, and then the other person's like, you've never told me that. And they're like, crap, that's something I told someone else. So this has happened in my own life. Like, even in my healing journey, there's been times that I have remembered something of like, oh yeah, we went to this restaurant. And my wife's like, no, we didn't. And I was like, yeah, we did. And all of a sudden I realized I'm recounting something that happened with another person. Like, yes, very awkward, but my wife and I, we've worked through it, because then I'm like, okay, nope, that actually, yeah, this happened with this person. I just didn't realize it in the moment when I was remembering it. And so there's different pieces that kind of cross over. Sometimes pieces that like start to break down, but now I'm trying to do it intentionally. Where before I was keeping that boundary really, really strong to try to make sure that nothing leaked over into communicating truth, into communicating vulnerably what was actually going on. So one of the first lines of defense that narcissist does to keep the lies straight is to get to this place of compartmentalizing. So narcissists, you might find a partner that has multiple relationships simultaneously. Like, he's communicating with you, he's interacting with someone else at work, he's interacting with someone else online, all of these things, and it's all compartmentalizing it. It's like, this only exists here, this only exists here, this only exists here. And when they do this, it's a lot easier to make sure that you stay like distant, that you stay unaware of everyone else's existence. But then also mentally, it's one of the easiest ways for them to be able to categorize the lies that they have. I'm this person now, so this is who I'm communicating with. I'm this person now, so this is who I'm communicating with. So that's one of the first aspects. The other aspect is trying to separate the abuse from reality. Now, what I mean about this is the narcissist does this to you all the time. Of like, let's separate like the abuse that you're experiencing from the actual reality of the situation. So you don't view it as being actual abuse. You don't view it as being actually a problem. But they also do this to themselves. Of, let me actually say like, okay, what I'm doing actually isn't abuse. What I'm doing, you actually deserved it. What I'm doing is justified because of X, Y, and Z. And so a narcissist oftentimes will gaslight other people, but then also will have this semblance of gaslighting themselves. That didn't happen. I didn't abuse you. All the things, but all the time it's in their mind of like, that wasn't something I actually did. And so this happens in the relationship, and it makes you doubt your perception. It makes you doubt your reality. It makes you think, well, maybe I'm just making too big of a deal of it. But that's because the narcissist is so strong in their thought process, so strong of like, this did or this didn't happen, when reality it did, but he's trying to convince you of an alternate version of reality. He's trying to make sure that you only look and see a certain version of what's going on than the actual truth. Like, this whole piece is crucial for you to understand that he's going to do this to you because he's already doing this to himself to make sure and to believe that he's a good person. Like, a narcissist typically isn't going around believing I'm the worst person in the world. It's typically trying to figure out, how do I manipulate this so I feel better about myself, so I can make it seem like the abuse that's going on actually isn't real, it's not actually that bad, and I can continue to do it because I'm justified in doing it. Like, think of it this way, like, you might have a narcissistic spouse and he constantly is belittling, undermining, and putting down your achievements, putting down the things you've done. Over time, you start to feel and you start to doubt your own abilities. You fall into this trap of the narcissist gaslighting you, changing your perception of reality. Now, a lot of times a narcissist has to do this to themselves to change the perception of reality so they don't feel bad about the reality that they're creating. Okay? So, hopefully that makes sense. Now, I want to move into the third section, the third point, which is this aspect of object constancy, which really is just in the short side is just out of sight, out of mind. Like, the narcissist is like, I'm away from you, you no longer exist to me, now I can go do whatever I want. Narcissists sometimes struggle with this with object constancy, meaning struggling to maintain consistent emotional connection with other people. Now, sometimes it's used just an excuse. Okay, just an excuse of him not showing up as a man and actually being honest about stuff and dealing with the issues. Other times what this is like viewing this of like, okay, when I'm gone from you, like there's no connection. When I'm gone from you, this doesn't actually happen. Now, again, I'm not saying this to promote a case of like woe is the narcissist. I'm just saying like, hey, this sometimes is a piece that factors into this where the narcissist is like, oh, we're no longer connected. Let me go find someone else because this connection was here. Now it's gone. You're like, it's not gone. You literally just left for work. But the narcissist is like, nope, gone. Let me find someone else. Okay. So think of it this way. When the narcissist might not be in direct contact with you, it might be easy for them to dismiss you and to forget you. Okay. And you're like, how could you forget me? Because the narcissist isn't really looking at you in the relationship long-term as being this like integral part of their life. They're just viewing you again, transactionally of like, oh, you're playing a role, you're playing a part for the moment. And so forgets you, dismisses you, moves forward into this deceptive behavior of let me do what I need to do. So kind of the same aspect that I was referring to either of like this version versus this version. A lot of times is what you're seeing with the narcissist of like, I exist in this version. Okay. So like think for instance, the narcissist is like, I exist in this version. Okay. And here I'm committed and faithful to this person. This person over here doesn't exist. Okay. Because there's no emotional connection. We're not interacting right now. Right now, there's this connection. Now, walk out the door, boom, that's gone. Now I'm with this person. Now I'm communicating, texting, calling this person. Now there's an emotional connection here. Now this person exists. This person doesn't exist anymore. It's weird and doesn't really make a ton of logic sense, but like this is what's going on a lot of times inside a narcissist's mind, keeping the lies straight between the different people. Like either compartmentalizing it up, either changing the thought process of like, that didn't really happen. That's not that big of a deal. Or by getting to this place of where it's like split apart and where the object constancy is here of like, well, out of sight, out of mind. Now I can go do what I want, be the person I want to be, regardless of how it affects or how it hurts other people. If you'd like help healing from this, you can go to claritychallenge.net today. We'd love to be able to work with you and help you move forward in your healing process. If you want to talk to me individually, you can go to rawmotivations.com today.